How's it going today? So, I am going to full disclaimer here. I'm going to talk about my faith on this one. And it's not from a beat your chest, you have to believe kind of aspect of things, but it's just purely this is an experience that I had. And years ago, I put my faith out there and wrote about my spiritual journey, my God filled journey. And I'll put that in the chat just to really talk about it. But I'm very, very cautious about not wanting to turn people off. I don't talk about religion. I talk about my God, and what your God is, I have full respect for. But my God specifically, I really listen to, and I listen to in my spirit as well. So I had a plan for what I was going to talk about this morning. And the reality is, I'm hearing that I need to talk about something completely different. I'm really experiencing that right now. So what I'm going to talk about is when you create your own chaos and you are hearing it, you want to settle where you are because it would be so much easier to settle where you are, but you actually feel in your spirit that you are called to do something else. And here's the example specifically. It's actually really easy, or at least it was for me, in a crisis when life brings you to your knees, to look up. And because that's the only thing that you can do, you don't have any other choice. At least for me, I didn't have any other choice but to lean on my faith and trust, and just know that we were going to get to the other side, specifically around that. And really, I talk about that a lot in my book, Armored, but that's been the journey that I've had, that it took me many years and a building of my faith to finally get to. But it's a whole other thing so that's a crisis, but it's a whole other thing when you are called to create chaos in your life in an already busy season. But you have to stay obedient and trust, and know that if you're called to do that, that something is going to be phenomenal on the other side of it. So here's my testimony this morning. Late last year, early this year, I really felt that God spoke to me that we were going to pay off our house. And so we are nowhere near close to paying off our house. But I kept hearing it in my Sunday morning prayer time, in my journal time and whatnot. And I kept saying, okay, show me how, show me how. And then it really revealed itself to me in February when we went to visit some friends in an area of town. We live in the central city part of Houston. And when we bought our house here 8.5 years ago, we had a different life. I worked nearby. My husband worked not that much farther away. And we were of a different financial means also. But fundamentally, we were out and about quite a bit. So it really made sense for us to plant ourselves where we are right now. As it exists now, 5.5 years ago, or a little more than 5 years ago, I started Authenticity, and I work from home, and my husband's on medical leave. And so the reality is, we can work wherever we want. I make my day, I make my schedule, and I can actually kind of allocate it. It changed the game for us, basically. So when we went to visit some friends in the outer part of the city, it's an area of the city that we really like for a number of reasons. You can get in and out of downtown pretty easily, as well as we can get to Louisiana to be with family, and specifically our moms, a lot easier also. So it's an area that we really kind of like. So we went to see them, and it's a new house for them. But in learning more and more about this house, it's like, wow, you can get all of this in this area of town for that. And it just started to, we left them, and I started to really see the picture unfolding in terms of what was happening there. And then we prayed. And so I expressed to my husband what was going on, and we really kind of prayed. And then we put our house on the market, and in a day we actually had 2 full price offers. It's just amazing. So in this journey, and God brought us this amazing home buyer who is pretty phenomenal to deal with. And there are lots of other stories there, including passed our inspection great. We had a couple of things to fix that could have been really big and hairy. But again, we prayed over our house and those ended up being very minor. We took care of all of those and we're set to close on May 6th, which is phenomenal. But here we go. I am really feeling like, okay, where are we going now? And here's the beauty of it. God brought us this home buyer that we don't have to be out of our house until the beginning of July. So we have some freedom. However, in my own little, control freak kind of hands, I want to say, we need to find a house now. We need to find a house now. And the reality is the right house isn't coming to us yet. And I just have to be patient. And in faith, through this chaos I've created, stay in faith and know that it is coming and it is on the way. Patience isn't one of my virtues. It's not one of those things that I do really well. So for me to pull it back and say, oh, I can take care of this, it's not going to be good. So I have to throttle back and I have to know, okay, what am I supposed to be doing and how am I supposed to listen and what exactly, following the breadcrumbs, much like I've made it through this last 3 years. Many of us have made it through this last 3 years in following the breadcrumbs. That's really what I'm called to do right now. It's a piece of my testimony overall. So testimony in the crisis and then testimony in the created chaos. Like I said, it's a busy season for me. Praise God, I am busy at work. It's not like I wanted to add on another layer of anything to do. However, it's really being obedient and then staying in faith and trust that if you're called to do it, if your spirit feels like you need to do something, listen to the call. Because you don't want to then be forced. You don't want to be extracted from the nest and forced to do whatever you are being called to do. That's happened to me too, but that's a whole other blog post. So if you have any questions, that's the question that I have for you actually now. What are you called to do? What is speaking in your spirit, whether it's personally or professionally? What are you being called to do on this very day as we walk into this beautiful new season? It's soon to be the summer season. I don't know about where you are, but in Houston, it is feeling like it's summer already. So feeling like the summer season, what are you being called to do? Just a little thought to ponder overall. As always, I'm here as a resource to you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Stay tuned. We're on the move and we will talk to you soon. Take care.